When we think of multi-billion-dollar businesses, we often imagine futuristic technology, robots, artificial intelligence, space rockets. But some of the most successful companies in the world were born from incredibly simple ideas. So simple that most people would never have imagined how much money they could generate. Today, we'll look at some examples. Let's start with something that seems way too obvious: running out a room. That's basically what Airbnb did. The original idea was extremely simple: connect people who had a spare room in their homes with travelers who needed a place to stay. As you can see, they didn't invent travel, and they didn't even invent hotels. They just made it easier to connect supply and demand, and ended up building one of the most well-known platforms in the world. Another example, coffee. Nothing more common than a cup of coffee, right? But here's where Starbucks really understood something. They realized they weren't just selling coffee, they were selling an experience: comfort, atmosphere, and brand. The lesson is incredibly powerful. Many times, the value isn't in the product itself, but in how you present it to each person. Now let's think about something even simpler: razors. Dollar Shave Club took a common product and added a simple idea: sending refills. Just like you heard, sending refills periodically through a subscription. They didn't reinvent the razor. They reinvented the way you present it to people. In other words, how you sell it. And this ended up becoming one of the most famous stories in e-commerce. Here's an interesting opportunity. Even today, millions of small businesses still waste time organizing appointments, bookings, and schedules. It might seem like a small problem, but let me tell you, it affects beauty salons, veterinarians, clinics, trainers, workshops, and so on. That's why entire companies have sprung up dedicated solely to organizing schedules. Here's the lesson: solving everyday problems can turn into a big business. This one might really surprise you, because it surprised me too. Bottled water, an extremely simple product, but some brands manage to turn something completely basic into a premium product. Because they understood branding, they understood distribution, and perceived value. Business history is full of examples where the product was very simple, but the business model was absolutely brilliant. Airbnb didn't invent lodging, Starbucks didn't invent coffee, Dollar Shave Club didn't invent razors, and many software companies didn't invent planners. What they did was something completely different. They found a problem and solved it much better. That's usually the real opportunity, not creating something entirely new, because as people say, everything's already been invented, but rather improving something that already exists. Although let me tell you, I don't think everything has been invented. A lot of times we look for the perfect idea, the revolutionary idea, the idea no one has ever seen before. But history shows us something really interesting. Some of the best businesses in the world started from extremely simple problems. The question isn't what to invent. The question is, what everyday problem can still be solved even better? If you're into business, money, and real opportunities, subscribe to Rich Investing. Because here, we don't chase fantasies. We analyze how real businesses are built. See you in the next video, guys.